It's day 6. I finally crossed this river that's taken me a while to get across. I had to backtrack the whole of yesterday, and the person that helped me get across is my new friend, Puron Tadi. Puron Tadi.
Moi Todi Dhamkot.
And your name?
Take.
Okay, so these two have helped me get across this river. I had to get all my kit off. They took my backpack. They really helped me. There's no bridges around here. I wouldn't have made it across if it wasn't for them. I call this a solo run, but as you can see, it's anything but that. They've been a big help. Thank you. This is the river that we just crossed. It needed 2 of them to help me across, but they seem to be getting back fine by their own without help. So day 6 is turning out to be a bit similar to day 5. This is, in the directions I was given, is up the valley, straight up the valley. This is the valley. There's just a load of rockfall. I think waterfall up there. And again, it's just climbing. Just climbing the whole thing. Should take, looking at the altitude, probably about 2 hours to get to the top. I've already been climbing for 1 hour, as in the rock climbing, and then before that there was a load of walking. Difficult terrain, again. I really hope I don't have to just turn around again. There were some paths at the bottom. I was following the path for as much as I could, but then they got to this kind of rock, and obviously I just don't know if the path goes up, i.e. if everyone just climbs up, or if I took a wrong turning. I don't really know that. The plan is just, I mean, having a look at the map, I can't, in terms of the topography of this area, getting to the top of this seems to make sense. After that it flattens out, there's a little bit of open area, hopefully not too forested, not too jungly. So I'm going to climb to the top of this, and I really hope I don't have to turn around. Yep, like I thought, this isn't the way. I've got to go back down. It's just, it gets steeper and steeper. I don't know if you can see that. This is just a rockfall gully. Maybe a couple of waterfalls along the way. It looked like it could have been at the bottom. It just steadily got worse and worse, steeper and steeper. And I was just thinking, is this it really? I mean, because it seems like the locals do have a way between where I came from and where I'm going. They said, you know, yeah, it's that way, definitely that way. So there's got to be some kind of comfortable-ish way somewhere. And yeah, this just kept getting more and more difficult, and it's just got to a point now where I've just got around the corner, and I have to literally climb rockfall, what looks to be really loose rockfall, to get any higher, and that's just obviously not the route that the locals would take. I mean, it's pretty dry now. It hasn't actually rained for a couple of days, luckily, in the monsoon. If it was wet, this would just be completely impassable. So I've got to realise that it's not the way, and I've got to go back down. So a little recap of what's happened in the last 2 or 3 hours. I came down from the rockfall where I thought was the path up. I was basically at a loss, you know. It just seemed like, again, same as yesterday, I can't see a path through. There's no clear path. So I started to backtrack even further to the first kind of building that I saw. It's the first time when I turned up to a tiny little village and there's been literally no one around. Normally there's at least some kids playing or someone's around. Everything was actually locked up. I decided to take a rest there. Got my solar panel out, charged a few devices, got some water, that kind of thing, let my feet dry a bit. Then I heard some voices. I noticed in one of the adjacent buildings, probably about 10-15 minute walk, there were some people. I went there. I played them the video that the chap I stayed with last night, and they understood everything instantly and said, okay, this person's going to show you the way. He took me all the way to where the climb begins, showed me the path. I sound hopeful, but I haven't made it yet. He said there's just one path, you can't go wrong, and almost immediately after he left, the path split in three. So I took one way. He said it's going to take an hour. So I was like, okay, well, potentially an hour in each one and back. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the right one, 5, potentially 5 hours. The short answer is I took both of the wrong ways, and I'm on the third one now, which is a steep climb, so hopefully that's the one. The other ones, basically, I didn't go very far in each one. I went 10 minutes down one, and then it just, it got really, I mean, this is just jungle, and it got really, really heavy, so I kind of thought that's unlikely to be the main path between the two villages. Went the other way only to 2 minutes, and then that was a dead end as well. So I really, really hope that this third one, this steep one, is going to, because he said I do need to make to the top of the hill. So, and this one's steep. It seems much more well trodden than the others. I didn't see that at the start. He said there's a doctor there. I forgot to mention one of my blisters seems like it may have got infected, so I need to deal with that. There's just no way to keep it clean or dry at the moment, and I'm in the most remote part, so basically my strategy has been to press on, dry my feet, wash them when I can, press on to some civilization. There's actually a city, if all goes well, in 4 or 5 days. And there's apparently a doctor at the top of this hill. So I really hope this is the way. Found another tiny little village along the way, asked them for directions, showed them the video that the chap from yesterday made, and they also said that this is the correct way. So it's looking good, but I'm not there yet. I made it down and out of the jungle. It's about 90% jungle today. Really, really slow going. My legs are really tired. I'm just crawling along. About 9 hours in. There was still a lot of backtracking today, a few times, but I've made it down to the river. I'm still days. I'm probably up, 5 or 6 days realistically, depending on what it's going to be like, from the nearest road of any description, even like track. So I don't know how long it's going to take me to get there. I'm certainly not out of the wild bit, but the goal for today was to make it down to the river, and the reason for that is because the river, everyone is saying, is very easy. That's how I need to get to the next big city, and the big city is something like 130 kilometers away, which could be, in the last 2 or 3 days, as the crow flies, I've only covered maybe 15 kilometers because of all the backtracking and the up and down and everything, and the climbing. So I don't know how long it's going to take, but at least the goal for today is complete.